This is the late evening of Monday, the 8th day of December 2025. And this morning, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu lawyers went to the court. They wanted the judge to rule that Nnamdi Kanu should be brought back to Abuja for them to continue their appeal, that they cannot file an appeal from Sokoto State, that it is very difficult because the lawyer is supposed to be going to meet him frequently and prepare for his appeal. So if it is before, I will be the first person to publish it, even while they are in the court and so on and so forth. But ever since I discovered that Nnamdi Kanu is going to be released and he is not going to be freed by any court of law in Nigeria, so ever since then, I don't too much spend time having interest in what the court says, in what they are going to do in the court, because any head that carries a basket to the market is also the same head that will bring the basket back home. It is not going to be easy, okay? But Nnamdi Kanu is going to be released. But it's unfortunate that they are going to use his release for political purpose, just like the conviction. I termed it as a political decision. Even the videos I made after he was convicted, I said this is a political decision. It's also unfortunate that they are still going to use him to politics, releasing him just before the election to gain sympathy of people to vote for you. It doesn't make sense actually. So ever since I discovered the way he's going to be released, so I don't too much put interest in what is going on in the court. That is, by the way, for those of you who don't understand Nnamdi Kanu very well, for those of you who do not know the concept of Nnamdi Kanu's agitation and why Nnamdi Kanu, why him? How did he start? When did he start? So I just say, let me explain it more, because it's not everybody, because I've had conversations with so many people and I discovered that it's not many people that even know the real reason why Nnamdi Kanu started the agitation, why people listen to him, people take him as their savior and so on and so forth. So I've had a lot of conversations with people and I believe that little people know about the concept of Nnamdi Kanu, and a lot of people have been deceived by the media. The media in Nigeria, we always, portray you to be whom the government wants people to see you for, like the way the government wants you to be, the name the government wants you to answer. If the government wants you to answer a criminal, they will make sure that the media will portray you as a criminal. Everything started in 2012. Before that 2012, Nnamdi Kanu has been seen protesting for good governance in Nigeria. He has been seen calling for restructuring. He has been asking questions like, why is there no functioning seaport in the south, like Port Harcourt, Warri, Imo State? Why? There were seaports in this area before, even during the slave trade. They used to take people from Imo State down to the Atlantic Ocean. So there is a way down to a port there. So why is it that all these things are not functioning? Why is it that we don't have two Niger bridges crossing into the southeast? Why are we not having functional international airport? Why is everything centralized on Lagos? He was asking questions. Fast track to that 2012 when Boko Haram asked people from southern Nigeria to leave, and Boko Haram gave Christians 3 days to leave the northern part of the country. I used to publish this always. You can confirm in CNN, in BBC. Just type it. Boko Haram asked Christians to leave the northern Nigeria in 2012. You have every information. I know what I'm talking about. So Nnamdi Kanu have to step in. He started broadcasting to Radio Biafra, telling people that, listen, if Boko Haram asks you to leave the north and come back, because they will kill you. People listen, people did not listen, some people did not listen, and Boko Haram actually started killing people. So Boko Haram started killing people, people started dying in the north. United Nations held a meeting and they condemned the sectarian killing against the Christians in the north. So you can go to UN website, just type UN resolution on sectarian killing by Boko Haram 2012. Everything will come out, okay? So what I'm telling you is based on fact. So I'm not just trying to tell you what does not exist. So after that, Nnamdi Kanu was also trying to tell people that this country, as it is going, since people are supporting Boko Haram, because that time Buhari was saying that the fight against Boko Haram is a fight against the north. Somebody like Sheikh Ahmed Gumi was saying that Boko Haram is a blessing to the northern Muslim. somebody like Sultan of Sokoto said that anybody who is fighting Boko Haram is fighting against Allah. All these things are in the newspaper, they are documented, and you can find it online. So after that, the tension was growing up. And fast track to 2014, 2015, Ihejereka, under Goodluck Jonathan, was chief of army staff, and he was dealing with all, is it the chief CDS, chief of defense? He was dealing with Boko Haram mercilessly. And the next thing we hear was he's an Igbo. He's trying to pay back what happened in Civil War. He's killing Boko Haram. The fight against Boko Haram is a fight against the North. So Jonathan, as a gentleman, succumbed to pressure. Boko Haram was literally defeated. Jonathan succumbed to pressure, and Jonathan now, changed Ihejereka, who was fighting for a just cause. So immediately he was changed. These people now plan how to start importing terrorists into the country. So they started importing terrorists into the country ahead of 2015 election. And they said that if they didn't win the election, that Nigeria streets are going to be soaked with blood. If it is today, they will arrest the person. By the way, if it is someone like P2B made the statement, they will arrest him. If it is Sowore made the statement, they will arrest him. If it was Nnamdi Kanu, they will use it to sentence him to death. You understand? But someone who was 8 years president made that statement. And after that, a lot of people like Bakare, Osibanjo, Femi Falana, Adeboye, Professor Wolo Soyinka, they rain heavily on Goodluck Jonathan. You are a failure. Bring back our guests. They started cursing Jonathan. If you did not leave the office, you will die. What happened at Abacha will happen to you. I was watching this, so they did not tell me what I'm saying. So what made Nnamdi Kanu to start coming back home was that the importation of terrorists was obvious. Nnamdi Kanu knew that this is over. For importing terrorists and arming them to come into Nigeria, so who are going to be the target? The South are going to be the target. So Nnamdi Kanu came back and he was arrested in Lagos Airport for the first time. So after Buhari assumed office, they started their up and down. In 2017, he was released. So the reason why I'm telling you all this thing from the beginning is for some of you who do not understand where Nnamdi Kanu is coming from, because so many people used to see him like somebody who just come to start agitating. Now, fast track to when he was released in 2017, the federal government have to employ a new strategy, like start sponsoring a splinter group. ipob is not a violent group, but the federal government had to start creating, according to the Amnesty International report, they started creating a splinter group. They started violent aggression on all those things, so that to make the ipob look at the violent association. So after that, they proscribed ipob, they started Python dance, they do all sorts of things. People were watching them. And their plan is to just make sure you kill these people. Like what the North pressure Obasanjo to do. Obasanjo asked the military to shoot OPC, Oduduwa People's Congress, at site because of issue that transpired in Kwara, when they were trying to take back their own ancestral homes from the Fulanis who invaded them in Kwara State. Just like what Obasanjo did, that was what the southeastern governors did. They sold ipob out, and they were determined to kill Nnamdi Kanu for them to get promotion. Like what Joseph Kanu is saying now, anything about Nnamdi Kanu, he don't want to use ear to hear it. Why? Because the influence of Nnamdi Kanu is a threat to these people. Like they are not compatible with the presence of Nnamdi Kanu. A man that can just walk out in the street, if he's just walking, what you will see is hundreds of thousands of people just following him, unannounced movement. Such a person is a threat to any political figure. And people are loyal to him, listen to him, not their political folks. So they see that this thing is a no. We've got to take him out. And that is what they did. And they have seen that actually what they said Nnamdi Kanu did not do it. Ever since they convicted Nnamdi Kanu, if I tell you the kind of insecurity in the Southeast, but they are afraid to continue to say it. You know why? Why are they going to blame it on? No Nnamdi Kanu again. So who are you going to put it on? Have you ever seen that Enugu was buying drone before? Because now they don't have whom to blame it on. Mba was saying that it was ipob. Look at Anambra shooting everywhere. I still have the record of what happened day before yesterday. Military shot someone and threw him inside the bush. And such a thing has been happening in Anambra like that. So if people were not there, if there is no witness, they will say it's not military, it's ipob. But now, everybody is now saying that what we have been saying, that apart from politicians sponsoring splinter group that call themselves ipob and all those things, it is not the Nnamdi Kanu's agitation or people who are loyal to Nnamdi Kanu that are committing all those atrocities in the Southeast. I do not say that people are not committing all these crimes in the Southeast, and it's complicated. Court war is there. The people the government sponsors are there. The people who are just criminals, but they are trying to use the name of IPOB. They are still there. And the Fulani militias who have infiltrated the whole bush in the Southeast, they are still there. So it is complicated. And this thing I'm saying is a product of research, okay? It's a product of research. So that is what is going on. And at this moment, nobody can come out now and call Nnamdi Kanu again. And I believe time will come, people will understand. People will understand very well that actually this thing is not all about Nnamdi Kanu and his people. This is all about criminals that we ought to have dealt with. And secondly, I think the whole Eastern region as a whole, we need leadership. People have to step up and take the position of leadership. And another thing I'm going to say, this thing is not going to be funny, but you see, no matter what you believe in, don't allow someone that do not represent his people, someone who do not have the interest of the people to go and represent you in Abuja. You might say that, yes, you are not voting, you are not doing anything, but I want to let you know something. You see those people going to Abuja for you in your constituency, senators or House of Rep, if they are against their people's interest, they will make your suffering, insecurity, everything to persist. Why not take power from these people? Sometimes we understand that Nigeria is not going to work again. If you have been listening to my videos, that is what I believe, that this country is not going to work because the politicians are sponsoring insecurity. And the purpose of doing that is beyond what people can just see. It's beyond political reason. So there are a lot of reasons, religious reasons, and so on and so forth. So, but even though people like ISWAP, Boko Haram, these people don't need Nigeria. They want a Sharia state. But you know what? They hijacked the power. They are everywhere in the government. They are everywhere. They hijacked the power, not because they want one Nigeria, but they want a Sharia country. But you yourself, if you think you are not going to change your strategy, that you will just keep quiet and said you don't need Nigeria, as if there is anybody that needs Nigeria. Is it because Tinubu is president? You think all these Oduduwa people even need Nigeria? Wait, let Tinubu leave office and see what will start happening. You understand? People, who are all these people who are killing? Do you know why they are killing? They don't need Nigeria. They need a Sharia state. So if you say you don't because you don't need Nigeria, let anybody just go and represent me. It doesn't concern me. That person that will go and represent you will be the source of your, chain. The person will seize your liberty, seize your freedom, because the person is not going to represent your interest. Just imagine if, for example, the Niger Delta are, seeking for their own country, like Niger Delta Republic, and in the House of Rep or House of Senate, every member representing them will bring out a motion, and if they refuse, they will walk out. That is a statement. So if you can't change all these people who are not representing you, not representing your interest, I think it's going to be a long way to go. Yeah. When you are doing something and it's not working, you've got to change direction. You've got to change tactics. So everybody have their own opinion. This is what I'm thinking at this moment. People have to, take leadership serious. And in finding a new country, you've got to develop your place. You've got to develop your place. I was in Lagos, that was last month, and I saw what is happening in Lagos. Private money from people from the Niger Delta, southeastern Nigeria. Lagos is open, developing it, another seaport, another. These are the developments that, yes, I know without the government. That is why I'm always saying the people who are going to represent you, I think you can fight to change them. Yes, you can fight to change them. Even though election doesn't count, but you can fight for just people who are representing you, because when it comes to the presidency and all those ones, the oligarchs, they are the ones that decide who becomes this and who don't become this. But at that primary stage, be very careful, because anybody, if they can impose someone on you, you are gone. There will be crisis. And that was what happened in Imo State in first tenure of Opozodema. Opozodema was imposed on his people, and crisis started. That is why Opozodema will continue to say it. What is going on in Imo State is a politics of insecurity. Sorry, yes, politics of insecurity, that politicians are sponsoring the insecurity. That is what Hope always said. And what he's saying is true. So don't allow people to impose someone who doesn't have your interest, because it is going to prolong your tears, if I may say so. Okay, now look at, if there is no Obi Agwocha, the House of Rep member representing Nnamdi Kanu, and if there is no Andexoti, didn't you see that Nnamdi Kanu has been totally abandoned by his people? Of course, you can see it. So you now understand what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, advise yourself. This is just a piece of advice from me. I'm Okocha Marcel, a conflict and insecurity reporter. See you on my next video.